and we would not have gone and invaded Iraq.
Senator Edwards, you didn't read that national intelligence estimate either. Do you regret that?
No, actually, I think that I would agree with some of what Hillary just said. I think it's true that I was on the Intelligence Committee. I don't think Senator Clinton was, but I was on the Intelligence Committee. I received direct information from that. I met with former high-level people in the Clinton administration who gave me additional information, and I read the summary of the NIA. I think I had the information I needed. I don't think that was the question. I think one difference we do have is I think I was wrong. I should never have voted for this war. And this goes to the issue that Senator Obama raised a few minutes ago. He deserves credit for being against this war from the beginning. He was right. I was wrong. And I think it is important for anybody who seeks to be the next President of the United States, given the dishonesty that we've been faced with over the last several years, to be honest to the country. We have to reestablish trust between the American people and the President,
right.
And that's going to require any of us who want to be president to be open and honest with the American people.
Senator Obama, you didn't think the war was the right thing to do, even though you weren't in the U.S. Senate. You didn't have access to any intelligence information at the time. Do you think someone who authorized the use of force to go to war in Iraq should be President of the United States?
Well, I don't think it's a disqualifier. I think that people were making their best judgments at the time. I will say on the National Intelligence Estimate that Chairman Graham, Bob Graham of Florida, who at the time was the head of the Intelligence Committee, cited that specifically as one of the reasons that he voted against it. So obviously there was some pertinent information there. I appreciate John's compliment. When I looked at the issue, what I saw was a weak case on the part of this administration, the sort of fear-mongering that I think, John, you've referred to on this stage tonight. And the critical thing for us moving forward is to recognize that we are not going to be able to continue to throw our troops at a civil war and be able to succeed. And I just have to go back to what I said earlier. This is an enormous distraction from the battle that does have to be waged in Afghanistan and rooting out al-Qaeda. That is something that we have failed to do. We have the opportunity to be successful there, but we have to finish the job.
Senator Gravel, do you think someone who voted to authorize the president to go to war should be President of the United States?
Not at all, because it's a moral criteria. And there's information coming out, Senator Durbin, Mr. Strum in his book, that really points out that these people knew that there was two sets of intelligence going on at the same time. And they made a political decision to vote the way they voted. A political decision that cost, stop and think, we have killed more Americans than was done on the 11th of September. More Americans died because of their decision. That disqualifies them for president. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means that they don't have moral judgment. And that's very important when you become president.
All right, Senator Clinton, you want to respond?
Well, I have said repeatedly that if I had known then what I know now, I never would have voted to give the president authority. And in the last debate, I said that, it was a mistake to trust George Bush, that he would do what he told all of us he would do. He made it in speeches. He told us in private that he would put the inspectors in to determine whether or not the International Atomic Energy Agency, the Clinton administration, many other countries who thought that there were stores of chemical and biological weapons were true or not. Now, I do not think that that is a necessarily wrong judgment at the time. What was wrong is the way this president misused the authority that some of us here gave him, and that has been a tragedy.
We have to move on to the next question. I want to go back to Tom. Tom, hopefully your microphone is working.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. Governor Richardson, a question on immigration. Despite your doubts about the immigration bill that's now pending in the U.S. Senate, you support granting legal status to about 12 million people who have entered this country illegally. Why is this not an amnesty program?
All right, I don't know if all the candidates could hear your microphones. I'm going to reread his question to make sure all of you heard it. The question is directed to Governor Richardson. Governor Richardson, despite your doubts about the immigration bill pending in the Senate, you support granting legal status to roughly 12 million people who entered the United States illegally. Why is this not an amnesty program?
I'm a border governor. 2 years ago, I declared a border emergency because of the tremendous flow of drugs and illegal workers coming into my state. I deal with this issue every day. Here's my position. I would not support legislation that divided families. I would not support legislation that builds a wall, a Berlin-type wall between two countries, the way the bill in the Congress exists today. Now, what are the essential components of any good, sensible immigration bill? One, increase border patrols. Double the size of border patrols and technology. That makes sense. Don't reduce the National Guard that's there. Secondly, an earned legalization program. Yes, I support that. One that is based on learning English, paying back taxes, passing a background check, getting behind those that are trying to get here legally, obeying laws, embracing American values. And then lastly, finding ways that we penalize employers that knowingly hire illegal workers. That is essential in an immigration bill.
Well, let me get back to